Sori.
And this is...
Full of Hell. Language of Molten Cherubs. This is
Language
Anarchy 99.
of Molten Cherubs. Anarchy 99 is one of our Patreon Alliance groups. People ask us all the time, why do you have alliances, yada, yada, yada. Well, Dale, listen, it's very simple. When you watch another reaction channel, and you should, like, share, comment, subscribe to the other reaction channels, especially Blake's channel, who, Nuclear Freaking Reactions. Okay, so... you'll notice that most reaction channels, that they cut up the song. They'll stop every 20-30 seconds or so, and then they'll comment. When we first started our channel, we just listened to the song straight through, because I wanted Sori to hear the songs that she'd never heard before, because she grew up in a very sheltered life. So we played the songs we played the songs all the way through, right? And then we started getting these little notifications. You'll probably see on the screen right now from YouTube that basically says, "Hey man, thank you for doing the song. That's great. But we're going to take all the royalties that you were going to get from this commercial is going to go to the record label and us, and, you know, thank you for playing."
But you don't have to remove your video. By all means, keep it up there.
Correct. So then we got the idea, like, well, then we need to start cutting up our videos. But by the time we figured that out, we were 5,000 subscribers in, and there was like a giant revolt. People were like, "No, don't do that. Do it the old school way." Oh yeah. Oh no. Oh no. That's Orion. So we pulled back and did it the way, and, you know, you get a copyright thing. That's okay. We compensate for that with Patreon, right? $1 the gate gets you in a Patreon.
Shout out to all our patrons.
Shout out to all our patrons if you think that the thing is worth the while. So these guys, they get together, they get an alliance, and then they pull their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do. So here is Anarchy 99. And they have selected the song Language of Molten Cherubs.
Speaking of which, Zonia, I will be messaging you soon. She's in that group, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Zonia is the leader of that group.
I'm pretty sure. Okay, here we go. Ready?
And also for timely topical political commentary, you can hit us up at Middle America with Vin and Sori.
We're also on TikTok now.
That's true. We are on TikTok now, and we also have a solo contest happening where somebody's about to win $100. Mm-hmm. So there's that. All right.
So which video do they need to look at?
You need to look at the Scarred video from, what's the name of that band? Dream Theater.
Okay.
And then you can see all the specs of the
information there. If you need money, that's like everybody.
It's $100.
Okay, ready?
Go!
So scary. What's happening?
Are you hearing any lyrics?
No. It's a...
They always have these, like, crazy out-of-the-box songs.
I'm not allowed to listen to this. Spot on the lyrics.
What disturbing music. Holy moly. Yeah, got it. That's God.
Wow. You know what? Honest to goodness, if we found out that there was like some murder took place in like this small town and somebody got put through like a meat grinder or something, and they were like, this song was being recorded, and the sounds were actually the sounds from that event. Like, it wouldn't surprise me. I would not be surprised. This had such a creepy, unsettling feeling to it.
You know, like I was watching this discussion. It was a theological discussion, and they were talking about objectivity in regards to art. Right,
Okay.
so a lot of people, you know, like they were contesting the idea that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Mm-hmm. They go, okay, so you're an objectivist when it comes to truth and math, but you're a subjectivist when it comes to art. Does that make sense? And, you know, the whole Thomas Aquinas, you know, you can objectify beauty and whatever. And I'm like, I remember when I first heard it, because I'm a postmodernist refugee, just like everybody is our age. Mm-hmm. I was like, man, that's crazy, blah, blah, blah. And so they're going back and forth about, because if there is objectivity in art, then that means that
Something objectively sucks.
well, and when you're like, because they were talking about worship, right?
Yeah.
And so once you cross that line and say there's objectivity in art, then that means that there would be then music that would be inappropriate for worship. Because it's not your opinion. The music has to honor God, right? So if there's if there's objectively good music and objectively bad music, then,
Oh, you're saying morally. I thought you meant like whether it's
well, no, the morality comes in the context of worship, right? Like you have to decide whether or not you're gonna, because you can't offer God something objectively bad, right? So
by bad, you don't mean it sucks. You mean it's morally bad?
well, yeah, I mean that was the argument they were making, was that it carries, that there's a moral attachment that carries to art, especially in regards to when it's in the context of worship, right? And so there was a lot of conversations about what's the difference between a Playgirl and Michelangelo's David, for example. Mm-hmm. So a Playgirl is exhibiting a man's naked body, mm-hmm. and we call that pornography, and we say that that's bad. Mm-hmm. But then Michelangelo's David is a man's naked body.
Well, I see where you're going with this.
And
It's
it's
a very interesting
art,
thought.
and we say the guy's a genius, and this is one of the biggest things we brag about in Christian history, is that period of art and all the rest of it. So he's like, well, you know, if everything's relative, then this song,
It's true. That's really interesting.
this song sonically, to me, I feel like these guys know that that's the case, mm-hmm. because I feel like it doesn't matter where you go. Like, for example, you, right? If I put you in a time machine 250 years ago and dropped you off in the Serengeti or something, you would still be a beautiful woman. People would still be like, oh my God, I just saw the most blood. They probably wouldn't believe that you came from the earth. So, like, universally, wherever you ended up,
Every woman should have a man singing praises like that.
You're being ridiculous. Anywhere you ended up, people would say that's an objectively beautiful woman, right? So I'm like, okay, you take this soundtrack, mm-hmm. or you take the interlude to Master of Puppets. Mm-hmm. I don't care what time period, what space and time, what context, what social structure, it doesn't matter. People are going to say that segment is beautiful.
That's really interesting. Yeah.
So it doesn't. Then, you know, there's within that there's Pac and Biggie and yada yada yada, right? Like where there is some like subjectivity to it, I guess. But like, you're beautiful because you're like the most symmetrical human being I've ever met in my entire life. Just like top to bottom, you're, you know, because that's Aquinas, right? It's symmetry and complexity is what beauty is for Aquinas. This is like objectively ugly music. Like, the music itself is objectively ugly, right? And it's terrifying, and it's ugly and terrifying on purpose.
Yeah.
So that's the thing that was fascinating to me, is like, we didn't catch the lyrics until like halfway into the song when they said step through the ladder. And then we finally figured out. But like, it doesn't matter. They could have been saying "Masigasi dahasi blah blah." It doesn't matter. Like that vehicle that the lyrics were being driven in
unsettling.
Was unsettling and ugly, and it was on purpose, and these guys know it. It doesn't matter what context you put it. You would never, ever, ever hear this in church. Ever.
Right.
There's some Cradle of Filth where I'm like, I could see that happening in church.
The only way that this could be
no
in
way.
church would be, they used to have these traveling...
evangelists, right?
No,
Revival,
that too.
revival people.
No, it was a team of people that would come. It was called like Heaven's Gates, Hell's Flames, and they would go church to church, and they would train your people to do the play, and they would set up your church with all their stuff, and then people could come. It actually was a pretty cool.
Yeah, there was
thing.
one.
That hell scene would they.
That would have been the soundtrack to it.
That would work.
Actually, Creflo Dollar had one, and it was horrible. It was this kid. And he was writing a letter to his friend, but the kid was in hell. And the kid ends his little monologue with "Wish you were here." Because the friend, it's stuff basically to guilt you into telling your friend the gospel. The kid was basically we went to parties together, we did this, you never told me.
Yeah, those other
we
plays
did
were like
this
that
and
too.
this and this, you never told me.
Yeah.
We did that, you never told me.
Yeah.
And now we both died in this car accident, and the entire time you knew about Jesus and never told me.
Those things always.
And now here I am. He's like, oh no, the torturers are coming for me. I have to go. Wish you were here. And it was just terrifying, horrible. Like that was like the thing, you know. And I'm trying to find the actual thing, because it was maybe it's here, the truth about hell. I'm not sure.
I mean, Heaven's Gates, Hell's Flames was basically like that.
Yeah, man. I mean that look, that's funny. Truth about hell. Wish you were here. Pink Floyd. What a world.
Yeah.
So yeah, even before we hit the lyrics, just sonically, I was like, oh my freaking, this is just. And so I feel now, like when I was younger, I was like, man, this guy's crazy. He's just saying that so he can Anglo-Saxonize worship. You know what I mean? Like, and that was what he was trying to do. I think he's right, but I think he constricted too much to whatever. So shout out to Sproul Jr. You get a 50 for that, my guy. But holy moly!
Yeah, but you're saying the actual notes constructed in a certain way would objectively not be good.
Well,
or are you saying what is, like, when you're looking at, Michelangelo's painting, or you're looking at the other Playgirl, there's a purpose, right, behind what they're trying to accomplish in those things. And a lot of times purpose gets overlooked, which on the flip side is also why a woman can go out in a bikini, but heaven forbid she starts nursing her baby publicly.
Well, yes. Yeah. I mean, that has... Yeah, no, I agree.
What do you mean? Isn't it kind of some of the same stuff?
Yeah, although the bikini thing is more of like the men's purpose in the thing. But yeah, no.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
No,
because they're looking... Well, I guess it's kind of like a flip of it.
Yeah,
Her intended purpose is to feed her child, but because she doesn't accomplish the intended purpose that you want her to, all of a sudden you have something to say.
Right.
But if she comes out in a bikini, you don't have a problem with that, because it meets your intended purpose.
Right. So these guys are definitely, like, they get the concept, and they and the thing is, it might sound, people are going to say, oh, this is just noise. There is actually some rhythm to it. There was a real, like, stop-start type rhythm to it.
I couldn't get past, like...
Yeah, at least, the last 25 seconds were just,
Honestly,
It felt like you were going down in a chopper or a plane crash or something like that wind tunnel that you run into.
I had watched this movie or this show, and, like, in the end... Like, I don't usually... Anytime something is, like, violent or overly graphic, I'm not, like, a fan at all. I turn away still. I mean, I'm a grown woman. I still turn away from stuff.
Yeah, you
But,
do.
like...
Wasn't that yesterday?
No. But, like, in the show, like, the people show up...
I'm telling you right now.
The people show up, and they catch the person doing this, but you could hear, like, this horrible grinding sound, and then, like, they're in the backyard putting a person through, like, a wood chipper. And it was all over the snow, and it was so unexpected. I did not think that was going to happen. It just kind of like happened.
What movie was that?
I don't remember. I think it was I think it was the show. I think it was that mom show. Remember that mom show that I was watching about that? The like bad girls, like they were bad moms. Like I think that one of the moms is like completely insane, and I don't remember. I don't remember if it was. I really don't know. Don't quote me on that because I really don't know. But it was unexpected when it happened, and like all of a sudden, like so, like that visual just kept coming to me when this is going on. Like the sound was so unsettling, and I kept seeing the picture
of the wood chipper.
Yes,
yeah, I was in a weird mood one night, and and this is the second time I brought it up, and sure enough, the last time I brought it up was during a Anarchy 99
Oh, really?
song. Yeah, it was a song with... Remember that woman serial killer monster? They made a movie out of her and everything? Yeah. It was about her. And it was just a completely unsettling song. But anyway, I was listening to the song at like 11... I was Googling around at 11:30 one night. It was dark, obviously. And they were like, the 5 scariest songs of all time or something like that. And so obviously I went to number 1. I found it. I listened to it. And it was dark and, whatever. And I don't know if it was the build-up, because the song that they had was worse than that song.
Was worse?
Was worse than the song that I heard than the top 5.
This one was worse?
No.
What's worse?
The last one that we listened to from Anarchy 99 was worse. But at the time, it was a really like unsettling, terrifying song.
Is that the one where the girl connects with the other girl, like her, saying she like being a friend to the serial killer? Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I pushed it.
And then we looked into it, and it was like her perspective and what had happened to her. She'd been raped when she was like that
one.
Yeah.
That was the most disturbing song I've ever heard on the channel.
Pretty terrible.
And obviously, like that one was more disturbing because there's a real life situation.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, she did what she did. She got justice, whatever. But it was just, the whole thing was just horrifying because of just the depth of evil that was done to her, and then she regurgitated out, whatever. But yeah, this song sonically was very, very effective. Souls mindful of damage spin silk of themselves. That's pretty good. Silkworms. Mm-hmm. How do they do that, silkworms? Isn't it from their own bodies? Mm-hmm. That's a pretty.
I thought they used to pull the thread out of them. I didn't realize they killed them.
That's a very ugly line, man. Soul's mind. Could you imagine a human being doing that? Soul's mindful of damage spin silk of themselves, dropping towards the ground and connecting to manifest bodies. So the soul is doing that, it drops to the ground, and then it connects all the disparate parts, and now you've got a body manifested. That's a pretty complex line. And he just said a lot in 4 lines. As the thread rests, it binds 2 points void of space, becoming 1 point. All knows none. So it's basically like, before you were a physical person, you were just a soul mindful of damage. And then... Why
wouldn't it be after? After you were a physical person.
Because it says they spin silk of themselves and they drop toward the ground, connecting to manifest bodies.
Oh, okay.
So
I was thinking of like manifest bodies as in like, like when people say, oh, they can't move on, they want to finish business, like manifest bodies as in like demonic bodies that can come and go as they...
I don't really think there's a distinction in this universe between demonic bodies and bodies. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm saying demonic bodies as in they're not like you and me. They're someone who's died and then made silk things and come back over because their souls were mindful of damage.
Yeah. Become 1 point, all knows none. This guy, whoever he is writing, is a badass writer, though. They really, really are. So these are the most talented people. And it's so crazy to me because it's happened so many times. I'm like, we didn't know about these people. Step through the ladder, drink from the cup. After life, the cosmos are infinite. It will breathe you in, your heart and lungs, crush into singularity, a chance encounter at the end of our rope. So you're going back into the cosmos as a soul once you leave your body, basically, is what it's saying. So you start off...
That's right.
You start off as a as a soul. You spin the silk, it drops, and then you get a body. Then you live in this universe for a while, and the universe crushes you back into a singularity, and then you go back into the ether.
And you cycle back around again, you think?
It doesn't say anything about cycling back around. It just says, crushed into singularity, a chance encounter at the end of our rope. So, there's that. And of course, I'm assuming that this is the cherubim is actually the cherubs.
Yeah. Oh,
language of molten cherubs. So,
boy.
and it's funny because the cherubim in the Bible, they're like very scary and terrifying.
They're not chubby babies.
But for whatever reason, Renaissance art has the cherubs as like babies with wings. So I think it's even more terrifying because it says molten cherubs. So these are, I'm assuming, demonized cherubs or whatever, like bad guys that like betrayed Yahweh and went to the bad team. And so now they're talking, and so that's why it says at the end of our rope. So it's just a massively disturbing song, which was probably inspired by actual demons.
Oh my god. Oh. Okay.
That's my take on it. It's very authentic.
Yeah. I don't even know how to rate something like
Very
this.
true to form.
Okay, look, this is...
I give this song 9.5 flames.
Okay, I would give this song like a 2 or a 3 because I don't like it at all. But then if you're going by like accomplishing their purpose, then they deserve an 11.
Effectiveness.
It was absolutely effective, and it was absolutely... Like, I don't think... As far as like disturbing and creepiness, like I don't think they could have gotten any worse. I even thought I heard animals in there.
I'm sure you did.
It was just very bizarre feeling. It made me feel weird, like from the start. And I just think that, whew. But then I can't give a song like this an 11. So, and I'm not giving it a 9 point what?
I've given it 9 flames.
Okay, I think that I'm just gonna have to go with our typical 6.
Hold on to your
Giving
butts.
it a total score of a 9.2. You figure out the math, folks.
Somebody, yeah, I guarantee you, somebody's gonna do the math and go, "You dummy!"
You know what happens? So that's what I'm doing.
9.5 plus 6 is not 9.2.
Have you done the math that the kids are doing recently? I mean, with COVID, everybody's kids are home.
Yeah.
You start doing this math. Sometimes I look at the answer key. I'm like, "Are you serious? That's what the answer's supposed to be?"
That's good. You're literally the worst commercial for homeschooling ever.
No, I'm the most honest commercial. So I tell them, hold on, let me do this problem by myself before I teach it to you. Anyway, so there you have it. Thanks, Anarchy99. I'm so glad this song wasn't any longer than 3 minutes, though.
Yes.
I felt like I was like in hell for 10 minutes.
Vin out.
Sorry out.
Go.